Frank J. Avella with the Contending. Tony winner Lena Hall is currently killing it playing Allie, John Hamm's complicated sister, on Apple TV Plus's terrific new series, Your Friends and Neighbors, which is already renewed for season two. I'm so happy to welcome Lena.
Hi, how you doing? I'm happy to be here.
I'm doing well. I love Allie so much. She's my favorite character. She's the most relatable for me. Uh, Thank you.
You're welcome. I've been getting I've been getting that a lot, that she is the most relatable, which I find really interesting because, of this whole universe that we're living in for the TV show. The one who's supposed to be the most broken is the most relatable for everyone, is like the most normal, which I find pretty telling.
Well, she kind of is though, because like she's the peacekeeper. She helps her nephew out. She's there for her brother. I mean, sure, she's complicated, but I mean, she's also, I want to be Allie.
Oh, yeah. I like being Allie. It's really, really fun. Yeah, I think what's great about Allie is that she's got this kind of no nonsense going on. So she will just speak her mind because she really doesn't care about the glitz and the glam or keeping up appearances. She's struggling with her own stuff, and she's okay with kind of bringing a little sense of humor to that. She knows her situation, she knows what's going on, and she has a good sense of humor about herself, which I love. But that also makes her kind of really blatantly, honest. There's like it's like she only has so much time for to like mask what's going on. So her to even mask more of like her thoughts, it's too much. So she has to like kind of, mask her emotional kind of turmoil going on within her, so that she appears normal in the normal, quote unquote, normal world. So for her to also kind of mask what she says is it's just too much.
Well, Lena, how did the role come your way? I'm curious.
I auditioned, I put myself on tape, and it was an interesting time because I was having a hard time with my career. I was not getting anything. I had put myself on tape so many times for so many things. And you don't get the time of day. Like oftentimes you put in all this work and then that you send it off, your self-tape, you send it off into the ether, and then you just don't hear anything. So a lot of time was spent on these self-tapes, and it was just going out into the ether, into the middle of nowhere. And so then I did like a slew of self-tapes, and I actually had kind of forgotten that what this one was, when I got the call back, but I do remember putting myself on tape for this because it was so clearly like I locked in and related with Ali so perfectly. It took no time for my audition. I like the words for the character just locked in my brain so fast. And then the audition scene was the scene where she's sitting on the lawn playing fake plastic trees, singing to her ex, and then her brother comes in, and talks to her and takes her home. But that that whole thing, like the fact that it opened with fake plastic trees, which is like Radiohead is my like one of my top all-time favorite bands. And I had already done covers of of Radiohead songs, and I had already covered Fake Plastic Trees, so I knew it so well. It was already ingrained in me, so it was kind of like an easy drop in to the character. So I actually started my audition playing Fake Plastic Trees, and then I just went directly into the scene. And a friend of mine who's like a director, he did the audition with me via Zoom. So I just zoomed his voice in and we did the audition together, and then I sent it in, and I had forgotten about that. And also, I kind of didn't think I would ever get cast in this role because I was like, it was so easy for me to lock into her essence.
Yeah.
And oftentimes, as an actor, when you read something and you're like, "Oh, this is perfect," like I know I have so many ideas. This is you never get that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like the curse is being like, oh, I love this so much. I'm so right for this. And then, and then you never get those. So I kind of was like, "Ugh, there's no way I'm gonna get this." But then
And
I got a
yet,
call back and yeah, I know. Yeah. And then I got a call back for a it was like a what do they call it? A chemistry check with John.
uh,
And I was like, for which one? Which one was this? Like, you know, like which one? And then they sent me the stuff again, and I was like, oh yeah, oh my God. Like I couldn't believe I had gotten a call back for this because I was so positive this was not going to be the one that they would come to me for because it was like so perfect, right? But then I did the chemistry check with John, and it was great. And I got the I mean, obviously I got the role. So this was a huge deal for me because it was, it was a desert for me for so long and a casting desert. And so this was a massive opportunity for me. And you know, the way that she is written throughout the whole series is like I couldn't be luckier. It's just like it feels like it's tailor-made for me because there's so much complexity, but also the music plays such a strong role in her storytelling
yeah.
and and it's such a cool way to tell another side of a character is through song because sometimes, we can't emote properly or we can't like explain our emotions properly, but a song will really tell you what's going on. And I think that, yeah, Jonathan Tropper really like he hit the nail on the head with all of that. Because it doesn't feel forced. Sometimes when music is in a show, it can feel kind of forced.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we found out that she's a singer, so we're gonna make her a singer, right? But this is just like it's so central to the character that and Jonathan Tropper like did a really good job writing that in.
Well, and not to give anything away, but the last episode where Allie is on stage and then something happens, and I won't necessarily what a genius moment that was.
I love that so much. That whole thing was well, it's terrifying because first of all, you have John Hamm sitting like right there, and that's terrifying because I look up to him so much, and so when you have someone that you look up to really like a lot sitting there, it just makes you a little nervous. But but the scene itself, I was nervous about because to be vulnerable on stage is different than being vulnerable on camera. Because being vulnerable on camera is much harder to do, I would say. When you have an audience, when you're on stage, like a Broadway show, you have an audience, and the audience is going along with everything that's happening, and you're there, and you're looking out at the audience, kind of like, I mean, you're not acknowledging them. It's still they're in the show, but it's a very different vibe than like a camera, like on your face
Mm.
really close up. When the camera is on your face really close up, it feels like your friend is like right there, like watching you have a meltdown. And it gets really, really personal and really, really vulnerable, like uber vulnerable. So I was nervous that I was going to have a hard time really opening up for that scene, but also keeping the lid on it a bit, so it's not like overtly outward. It's very much the turmoil is all underneath the surface. So it was terrifying to do for me. But when I did the song wasn't, because that's, my comfort zone is really playing guitar and singing. But so the song was like a nice buffer into this thing that happens on the stage. And what was fun was there were, tons of extras in the audience. And when I was playing and doing the whole rehearsal, like they don't know the scene, I do. I'm doing the full rehearsal for camera, and I do it, and when I break down a little, the audi the extras were so into it. They were like, "It's okay, you're great. We love you, got this." And I was like, okay, good. Okay, I'm on the right track. If they're really like buying into this rehearsal, then I'm doing good. So, and then also like I love John. John came up to me after the rehearsal and he was like, you don't have to do this full out every time. He's talking about the singing. He's like, you don't have to do this full out. I want you to save your voice, blah, blah, blah. I was like, no, 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 you don't understand. This is what I do. It's going to get better. The more I do it, like the more the song is just going to get better and better. So just let me do it, like, but it was cute because he came up to me and he was so concerned. And I was like, no, 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 don't worry. I've got this. I got this. But it was really nice, like to have that moment of almost, it was the extras being like, it's okay, you got like having them be so in it already. I was like, okay, good. Okay, I'm locked in. We're gonna make this happen, and then we did it a ton of times, many, many takes. It was really great. It was so much
The,
fun.
the end result is just it's astonishing to watch. It really is. Uh, yeah, and you're we talk about the chemistry with John Hamm because I think that the two of you are the heart of this series. But you also have great chemistry with your nephew and with y- oh my God, I just saw him in Pirates and his name Ramin.
Ramin.
Yes. So Ali has this, and Lena has this ability to just sort of take so many of these characters through. It's amazing to me.
Yeah, she's definitely, I guess she's definitely like the heart of the show. I think that's why, and again, like that's so many people relate to her because she's down to earth and broken, and aren't we all broken and struggling?
Yeah.
Like, but her struggle is so real. But I think because of that, she's got a great openness to everyone else's dysfunction. Like they can come to her with their dysfunction and be like, help. Um, so Ramin and I, we had worked together before, so our chemistry was baked in. Like we'd known each other, and when I found out he was cast, I was like, all right, like cool, Broadway, like high five, like I was like, oh, we're gonna have so much fun with this together because we'd worked together before, and I adore him. And with John, he made me feel so relaxed and so protected from the very get-go that it was easy to lock into this brother-sister relationship between the two of us. Like we've known each other forever. Just he's got a great way of like really making you feel like he's got your back with the scene and with everything. He's got this real like
Mm.
kind of protective vibe going on, kind of like a, big brother bear going on. And so for us it was just, well, for me it was a little bit, you kind of have to go, I'm supporting him. This is his show. He is the main, and a lot of that is me listening and responding to what our lead wants, like who's the driving force of this, huge ship that we're creating together on camera, and that's John. And so, he's the one who will set the tone. He completely, and it's a matter of like really listening and kind of playing tennis with him, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So, anytime he would lob something my way, I was so happy to like lob it back because I want him to know that, I've got his back as his support. And so we had a really good time doing that. We would do a lot of improv together, and we would improv into a scene and out of a scene. And anytime he went off, I was there ready to go with him. And it really helped make the scenes feel very natural and like helped make them feel very much like we've known each other for a long time.
Mm.
And I think it's important, especially for a brother sister and a long-term relationship like that, like when you have some like two people who are supposed to have known each other their whole lives, you have to get a sense of like no matter what one does, the other one's going to come back with some kind of like like a match that they're used to playing over and over again. So it's got to be that like kind of quick pickup.
Yeah.
And so, day one with John, he was doing that, and I was like, I got it. Okay, yeah, I got you. Uh, so that was
And the
really
love
fun.
and the love that you guys show for one another is what I love most because we're used to the dynamic where, oh, they're not getting along and this and that,
Right. Yeah.
but there's so much love there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. He's extremely lovable, and his character is too. I mean, maybe not everyone thinks so, but I love his character a lot. And also thinking of him more as like the protector. So, having him feel like he is my protector, that I think shows a sense of kind of an openness and there's like a lot of heart there between the two of them. And it's the I got your back thing. It's the ride or die thing. It's that, deep understanding, and on the same page, even if they don't have all the information, they already do have all the information. Do you know what I'm saying?
I do.
Like you can just read that person.
Yeah.
So it's that kind of deep knowing and the deep love, but it's stronger than the regular like a relationship. It's got that blood thing going, where you've known that person your whole entire life.
Well, Lena, you're a singer-songwriter and a tremendous talent. I saw you in Hedwig, and dear God, astonishing.
Yay!
Yeah, I was at one of the first previews, I'm proud to say. Yeah, yeah.
Oh my
Uh,
God.
you
So cool.
killed it. You've been actually super honest about your struggles during Hedwig, which so many people are grateful for. Thank you. Um, that journey now that you've taken, uh, gosh, where are you now? Is I
Where am I
guess what
now?
I'm, yeah.
Still struggling. I mean, well, I've been sober for 9.5 years, and it's really good. It's extremely good for me. I love it. I never see myself going off of that because no matter how hard the struggle is, I just have to remember the amount of time I lost to either being blacked out or you know or the hangovers that took like days and days to get over. Somehow I was able to do Hedwig and my band and get blackout drunk, like, consistently and still show up for work. I don't know how I did that. I really was burning myself at both ends. And now I've got much more kind of self care going on. I really try to listen to myself and take care of myself much, much more deeply and with love. Going to therapy helps a lot. Like, I mean, it's all helpful. It's cliche, but it is all very helpful. And so, the, you know, from 10 years, that was 10 years ago. I've
Yeah.
changed a lot as a person, and I've definitely grown a lot as a performer, creator, actor. I've grown a lot as an actor. And I think being able to really just tap into myself with having my head be more quiet than it used to be, is really helpful. Just for technique and for craft and all of that. It's just much more helpful to have just the quietness
Yeah.
going on instead of like this the crazed, going out all the time and really just like numbing out. I guess it would be called numbing out. When you drink till you're blacked out. It's pretty much you're numbing out something. So it's facing, it's like trying to face all my turmoil and my, issues. And what's weird, and I don't know if it's like the art the artist. I don't know if it's life first or art first, but oftentimes, or I don't know if it's the way that I work and relating to a character, but always I end up on the same page as my character. So, like, things that are happening in my life are often happening very parallel with my character. And I don't know if it's, because I'm affecting my life from my character. I don't know what's coming first. I don't know if it's subliminal or subconscious or whatever's going on, but there's this emotional overlap that happens where I'm going through very similar things in my life that my characters are, and it's wild to me. And we're filming season 2, and I'm not going to spoil anything, but I'm going through very similar struggles as Allie in season 2. And I did. And when we were filming season 1, I was going through something extremely similar for Allie while we were filming season 1. And I'm like, and I don't understand because none of it was in my control. I didn't write the scripts and I didn't have control over what was happening in my life. And same thing this year, but it is kind of parallel happening. And, like when I played Audrey in Little Shop of Horrors off Broadway, like that, you know, there's nothing I have in common with Audrey, except for, maybe some the relationship, like feeling like you don't deserve a good relationship, kind of emotional abuse. She had physical abuse, like mine was more emotional abuse. And so that like mirrored, and it was like all going on at the same time. And it was very strange, it was very strange to me. And I don't know if it's like things that are always happening, but because it's written and because I'm looking at it in a character sense, then now I'm seeing it in my own life.
Yeah.
Or, I'm not quite sure. Or like I don't know what it is, but yeah, I tend to mirrors some struggle, like certain struggles. It's not blatantly obvious and it's not verbatim, but there's like an underlying emotional thing that happens that overlaps like with these characters that I play. Like with Yitzhak, it was so much of that feeling repressed, that feeling like I wasn't able to, really shine, like I was like feeling like I was stuck in something else. It had nothing to do with the show. It was something else going on in my life. And so, you know, uh, and so again, there was so much parallel there. It was, yeah, the relationship with Hedwig and Yitzhak, there was much parallel going on for me in my personal life. And it was, all playing out on that stage. And I think that, people can feel that, especially if I'm locked into a character, like people can feel what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
For me, for real, like, in the character.
Well,
Kurt is wild. I don't know
I
why.
I get it, because I've written things that characters are going through
Mhm.
without having gone through them and then go through them like almost immediately afterwards and say, what the heck was that about?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I wonder if anyone else feels that, like where's this kind of parallel thing happening?
Yeah. It's
Yeah. I
it's
did.
fascinating. Like, is it just am I just imagining it, or how did I see that happening? I don't know.
Right, yeah. Or was it happening, but you just like it was subconscious, or it was like you knew it was gonna happen and you wrote it. Something like that,
Yeah.
where it's you're not aware of it, but but something in you knows. Like that. I did a show where I played this rock like front woman for a band, and she had it was this Roy Orbison musical that I loved. And she was dying of terminal cancer. And so she threw her own like party, but didn't tell everyone that she was super sick. And what's weird is I didn't have cancer or anything, but I was going through a major health struggle at that time, with autoimmune, and I had lost my voice. So I was still singing, but I had lost my voice for a year and a half, and I could not figure out why. And so I was like, kind of mourning the death of being able to sing the way I had sung during that show.
Mm. Oh my
And
God.
I was like, okay, so I'm gonna have to figure something else out because I can't do what I used to do. Like something happened. I had been going to the vocal specialist and everything, and there was nothing wrong with my chords. But there was something going on physically, and I finally figured it out. And then a year later, I'm back to what I used to be able to do. So I'm back to singing the way I used to be able to sing. I'm back to like being strong again. So there was like a major health struggle going on, but then it was figured out. But like that during that time, it was all that mystery. And like, I was like, like, I'm like, my voice is dying. And this show is like, the party for the loss of my voice. Bye. Like, you know?
Oh my God. Uh, wow. Well, yeah, I mean, what a thing to end on, but
Let's
well,
end
thank
on a
God you have
good
your
note.
voice back. That's what matters. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That I was like, well, I guess I could act and sing just softly, you know? But I was like, I lost that powerhouse thing that I had had for a little while. And that was like really scary.
Well, I just want to tell you that you have brought a lot of joy to me personally in things like How to Transcend a Happy Marriage, which I saw and loved. And of course, Hedvig. And now, I mean, on Your Friends and Neighbors, just I can't wait for season two. I know you can't tell us much about it, but uh,
Mm-mm.
oh, and your dog is making a surprise appearance. Uh,
Oh,
Hi.
hi. My baby. She's a big girl.
So I want to thank you for that, and just keep giving us more of Allie.
Absolutely. I'm so happy to be on this and talk with you today. Thank you for having me.
Me too. It was an absolute pleasure. I could talk to you all day.
Same,
Yeah.
same.
Wish you the best. Hopefully, next project we'll get together again. Okay.
We will, absolutely.
Okay. Have a great
I'll talk
day.
to you later.
Bye.
Okay, bye.